Right then, a massive hello to all you brilliant project managers over at Kent Business College. If you're staring down the barrel of your PMP exam and the phrase lean project management is giving you a bit of a wobble, don't you worry. You are in exactly the right place. We're going to slice it and dice it into something that makes perfect, simple sense. Let's crack on.
Oh, you know the scene. We've all been there, haven't we? The spuds are a bit cremated. The gravy has achieved the consistency of wallpaper paste. Your Auntie Carol is giving you the side eye because she's still waiting for her peas. The whole thing is just absolute chaos. Sound a bit like your last project? Well, what if? What if you could run it like a top-tier Michelin star kitchen, where every single thing just flows and the customer gets exactly what they ordered right on time? That, my friends, is the magic of a lean.
So here's our menu for today. First up, we're making that journey from disastrous roast to Michelin star, figuring out what lean actually is. Then we'll get into the 5 golden rules. Consider this your core recipe for success. After that, my favorite bit, we're cutting out the waffle and spotting all that project waste. Then we'll see how this all plays out in the real world, and specifically the PMP exam. And finally, we'll plate up your exam-ready takeaway. Let's dive in.
Right, first things first, to get from that kitchen nightmare to a smooth, controlled service, we need a recipe. So what on earth is lean project management?
Now this right here, this is your gold-plated PMP level definition. It's all about one thing: giving the customer the absolute most value while being completely ruthless about getting rid of anything that doesn't. You know, this whole idea came from the geniuses over at Toyota, so it's not some stuffy, rigid rulebook like Prince 2 can feel. It's more of a mindset, really, a philosophy for becoming ridiculously efficient.
And this just sums it all up perfectly. A just-in-case cook, that's our chaotic Sunday roast chef, makes 10 Yorkshire puddings just in case. More people show up. They don't, and 8 beautiful, fluffy Yorkshires end up in the bin. A tragedy. That is pure, unadulterated waste. But our just-in-time Michelin star kitchen, they only cook the steak when the customer actually orders it. No waste, perfect timing, happy customer. That is the lean way.
Okay, so every great kitchen has its non-negotiables, right? For lean, there are 5 golden rules. These are the absolute bedrock for turning that project mess into a masterpiece of efficiency. So here they are, the fantastic 5. First, you define value, but, and this is key, from the customer's point of view. Then, you map the value stream, which means you look at every single step of your process. Third, you create flow, making sure the work glides along smoothly with no stops and starts. Fourth, establish pull, which basically means you don't start any work until there's a real demand for it. And finally, number 5, you pursue perfection. Always looking for ways to get better. Let's have a closer look at that first one, defining value.
Right, this is so important. Value is defined by the customer, not you. Your diner, the person paying the bill, wants a perfectly crispy, fluffy on the inside roast potato. That is what they are paying for. What they are not paying for is you faffing about adding some fancy, unwanted truffle oil to the gravy. In project management speak, we call that gold plating, and in the world of lean, it's just waste with a fancy hat on.
And speaking of waste, let's get to the absolute heart of lean. It's all about going on a relentless hunt for inefficiency. Now, let's be honest, we all love a good bit of waffle now and then, but not in our projects. Anything that isn't adding value is waffle, and it's gotta go.
Okay, so the official Japanese term for waste is mura, but don't get bogged down in that. For your PMP exam, you just need to burn this one brilliant acronym into your brain: downtime. It covers the 8 deadly wastes you need to be able to spot on any project. Honestly, this is pure gold dust for your revision. Let's quickly run through these, because spotting them is your new superpower. D is for defects. That's having to redo work, an absolute time vampire. O is for overproduction, making more than you need, like those reports no one ever reads. W is for waiting. You know, when the veg is getting cold because you're waiting for someone to approve the gravy? The list goes on. There's non-utilized talent, which is like having a Michelin star chef doing the washing up. And it ends with extra processing, which is our old friend gold plating the gravy. Getting your head around these 8 is absolutely crucial. Right, let's hang up our aprons and step out of the kitchen. It's time to talk about what really matters, doesn't it? How does this all work in the real world? And more importantly, how is it going to bag you those precious marks on the PMP exam? Okay, look at this. This comparison is key. Think of it this way. Traditional project management, like waterfall, is like following a very stringent recipe to the letter. You don't deviate. Agile is more like tasting the stew as you go, constantly tweaking the seasoning based on feedback. Lean is a bit different. Lean doesn't care so much about the recipe itself. It cares about making the entire kitchen process incredibly efficient. Its focus is on flow and cutting waste, which, by the way, is why it's such a fantastic partner for Agile. Now, exam heads on. When you are sitting in that exam and you see a question that mentions any of these phrases, reducing delays, fixing bottlenecks, improving flow, Kanban boards, a massive alarm bell should start ringing in your head, and that bell should be shouting lean, lean, lean. These are the classic calling cards of a lean-based problem. So, let's have a go. Here's a classic PMP-style question for you. You've got a team, they're busy, they're pushing stuff out the door, but the stakeholders are moaning about delays and having to fix mistakes. What's the first thing you, the super savvy project manager, should do? Have a little think. And the answer is, drumroll please, you apply lean principles. Of course you do. Why? Well, because the problem here isn't what the team is making, it's how they're making it. The keywords in the question are delays and rework. That just screams inefficiency, it screams waste. And the best toolkit you have for fixing that kind of problem is lean. Simple as that.
Right then, we've done the chopping, we've cooked the main course, and now it is time to plate up. Let's get everything we've talked about onto one perfectly presented, exam-ready plate. Here it is, your PMP cheat sheet. If you're short on time, just sear this slide into your memory. Lean equals value plus waste reduction. It's all about flow, efficiency, and what the customer wants. It plays beautifully with Agile. And please remember, the exam is going to hit you with scenarios, not just boring definitions. So if the problem smells of delays, bottlenecks, or any kind of inefficiency, your answer is almost certainly going to be lean. And look, if you only remember one thing from this entire explainer, please make it this sentence. This is the whole philosophy in a single perfect nutshell. It's about value, waste, flow, and never stopping trying to get better. So the final question I'll leave you with is this. What's the very first piece of waffle you're going to cut out of your next project? Go on and good luck with that exam.